The assassin's blade was already touching the alien queen's throat when her human bodyguard started laughing. Not nervous laughter, not the desperate laugh of a man who knew he was about to die. Marcus Hale leaned against the marble pillar, folded his arms, and laughed like he had just heard the funniest joke in the galaxy. The assassin froze. Queen Veolara didn't move. A silver monomolecular dagger rested against the soft scales beneath her jaw. One twitch could separate her head from her body. Around them, 12 royal guards lay unconscious. The palace security system had been disabled. Communication with the fleet was dead. And the assassin had somehow bypassed every defense surrounding the most powerful ruler in the Orion Coalition. Every defense except one. The human. The assassin tightened his grip around the queen. "Why are you laughing?" Marcus wiped a tear from the corner of his eye. "Because you think I'm her last line of defense." His smile disappeared. "You've got it backward." The assassin's eyes narrowed. Marcus slowly pushed himself away from the pillar. "I'm the thing the defenses were designed to keep from getting involved. For nearly 600 years, the throne of the Ver Dominion had never been successfully attacked. There had been attempts, of course, poison, bombs, sabotage starships, assassination drones. Once, an entire mercenary fleet had tried to breach the capital. None had reached the throne room. That reputation was exactly why the Queen's Council had protested when she hired a human. Humans had only entered galactic politics 17 years earlier. Their technology was respectable, but primitive compared with the elder civilizations. Their ships were slower. Their weapons had shorter ranges. Their bodies lacked natural armor, claws, venom, enhanced hearing, or redundant organs. From the perspective of the royal advisors, humanity possessed nothing remarkable. Marcus Hale changed their opinion during his first week. Queen Veolara remembered their first conversation. "You served in your planet's military?" 8 years. "Special operations?" Marcus had smiled. "Something like that." The Queen had opened his personnel file. Most of it was blacked out. "What does something like that mean?" "It means your intelligence service wasn't supposed to get the other pages." Veolara had stared at him. Then she laughed. She hired him immediately. Her generals considered it reckless. Her intelligence director considered it insulting. Captain Threx, commander of the Royal Guard, had been furious. "You expect me to trust the Queen's life to a creature with no armor?" Marcus looked down at his hands. "No armor, no claws, no enhanced reflexes. Not genetically." Threx clicked his mandibles. "Then, what exactly makes humans suitable for royal protection?" Marcus glanced toward the Queen. "Paranoia." Everyone assumed he was joking. He wasn't. Within 3 days, Marcus discovered 17 weaknesses in palace security. Within 6 days, he found 32. By the end of the month, he stopped submitting reports because the Security Council had begun taking his discoveries personally. He found maintenance tunnels absent from official schematics. He discovered that palace food suppliers were searched when entering the compound, but not when leaving, meaning someone could establish a smuggling route by reversing delivery containers. He realized the ceremonial fountains shared underground conduits with the emergency cooling system. He found a 17-second surveillance blind spot created whenever 2 orbital satellites transferred tracking responsibility. When Captain Threx demanded to know how Marcus noticed these things, the human simply shrugged. Whenever humans build something, another human immediately starts thinking about how to break into it. Threx had assumed that was another joke. Months later, he understood that humans had sayings which sounded humorous only because the alternative was disturbing. Marcus redesigned Veolara's security personally. He added mechanical locks to electronic doors, analog pressure sensors beneath the throne room floor, hidden emergency oxygen, independent communication lines, false evacuation routes, backup weapons, then backups for the backup weapons. And one strange requirement. If palace security ever failed completely, Marcus wanted every automated defensive system surrounding the Queen to shut down. Captain Threx nearly attacked him when he heard the proposal. You want our weapons off during an attack? Yes, that is madness. Marcus shook his head. No, it prevents friendly fire. Friendly fire from whom? Marcus looked at him. Me. 3 years passed without a major incident. Until the Feast of Ascension. 400 diplomats filled the palace. Foreign ambassadors arrived from 38 systems. Musicians played beneath floating crystal lights. Queen Vaelara sat beneath the golden canopy of the imperial throne, while Marcus stood 20 feet behind her, wearing the simple black uniform she had designed specifically for him. No medals, no ceremonial sword, no visible weapon. Several ambassadors whispered about it. One even laughed. Then the lights went out. Marcus moved before anyone screamed. A second later, emergency illumination activated. Half the royal guard collapsed simultaneously. Captain Threx tried to draw his weapon. He made it halfway. Then he fell. A translucent figure appeared behind Queen Vaelara, its camouflage deactivated. Tall, thin, 4 arms. Black armor. The markings of the Silent Covenant, the most feared assassins in known space. One arm locked around Vaelara's shoulders. Another pressed a monomolecular dagger against her throat. Diplomats scattered. Marcus didn't. The assassin looked around the throne room. Human, Marcus stared at him. Yeah? Remove your weapon. I'm not carrying one. The assassin scanned him. Apparently satisfied, he pulled Vaelara closer. Good. That was when Marcus laughed. Now, standing 20 feet away, Marcus rolled his shoulders. The assassin watched him carefully. Stay where you are. Marcus took 1 step forward. The blade pressed deeper into Vaelara's scales. A thin line of violet blood appeared. Marcus stopped. The Queen finally spoke. Marcus, yes, Your Majesty? You appear unusually entertained. I told Threx this would happen. Despite the blade at her throat, Vaelara's eyes widened slightly. You predicted this? Not specifically tonight. Marcus looked toward the unconscious guards. But I predicted someone would eventually realize your security was strongest at the perimeter and decide to attack it indirectly. The assassin snarled. You are attempting to delay me. No. Marcus looked toward the ceiling. I'm waiting. The assassin hesitated. For what? Marcus counted silently. 3, 2, 1. Every door in the throne room slammed shut. The assassin spun toward the exits. What did you do? Nothing, Marcus smiled. You did. Confusion crossed the assassin's face. Marcus pointed toward the dagger. Your blade disrupts local electromagnetic fields. Great against shields. Terrible around old-fashioned magnetic sensors. The assassin looked downward. The moment you activated that thing near her neck, an independent circuit detected it. The Queen understood. The analog system. Marcus nodded. Exactly. The assassin dragged Vaelara backward. Open the doors. No, I will kill her. Marcus's expression changed. Until that moment, he had seemed relaxed, almost amused. Now every trace of humor vanished. The transformation was subtle. But every predator in the room noticed it. Marcus's shoulders lowered. His breathing slowed. His eyes stopped moving between possible threats. They locked onto one. The assassin. Here's your problem, Marcus said quietly. You came here expecting a palace guard. He stepped forward. You prepared for energy weapons. Another step. Motion sensors. Another. Drones. The assassin shouted. Stop. Marcus stopped. You even prepared for her soldiers. His eyes dropped toward the dagger. But nobody told you what humans were before we had any of that. The assassin stared at him. Marcus raised his empty hands. For most of our history, killing happened from about this distance. He suddenly grabbed a ceremonial metal cup from a nearby table. The assassin reacted instantly. His upper arm turned toward Marcus. Exactly as Marcus expected. Marcus threw the cup. Not at the assassin, at the ceiling. It struck the crystal chandelier. The assassin's eyes flicked upward for less than half a second. Marcus moved. Later, security recordings would be slowed to 1/10 speed because no VAR observer could understand what happened in real time. Marcus crossed the distance. His left hand caught the assassin's wrist holding the dagger. His right elbow struck the creature's second arm. His shoulder drove into its chest. The assassin attempted to pull Valara backward. Marcus stepped between them. The dagger sliced across his forearm. Human blood hit the marble floor. Marcus didn't even look at it. The assassin stabbed again. Marcus redirected the wrist. The blade buried itself in the assassin's own shoulder. It screamed. Marcus twisted. Something cracked. The dagger dropped. The assassin's third hand reached for a concealed weapon. Marcus head-butted him. The sound echoed through the chamber. Several diplomats gasped. Valara stumbled away. The assassin recovered with astonishing speed. Silent Covenant operatives were genetically engineered for close combat. Its upper arm punched Marcus across the face. The human staggered. The assassin attacked again. Marcus blocked. Another strike. Marcus took it against his ribs. A third. Marcus stepped inside the creature's reach and smiled. The assassin hesitated. That was its final mistake. Marcus whispered, "Now you're close enough." What followed looked less like combat and more like gravity had suddenly developed a personal hatred for the assassin. Marcus hooked its leg, rotated his hips, and threw a creature nearly twice his mass over his shoulder. The assassin smashed into the marble floor. Before it could recover, Marcus was on top of it. One knee pinned its lower arm, his left hand trapped another. His right fist rose. The assassin activated something on its wrist. A hidden spike launched outward. Marcus shifted his head. The spike missed his eye by centimeters. Marcus stared at it. Okay, the assassin looked confused. Marcus punched it. Now I'm annoyed. The first strike cracked armor. The second broke the assassin's breathing plate. Marcus stopped before the third. Not because he was tired, because Queen Valara touched his shoulder. That will suffice. Marcus remained motionless. His fist was still raised. Slowly he lowered it. The assassin beneath him coughed. Marcus leaned closer. What? You are supposed to be a civilized species. Marcus looked toward the queen, then back at the assassin. We are. He stood. That's why you're still alive. The throne room remained silent. Several ambassadors were staring at him. One representative from the Delmar Federation whispered, he fought a Covenant operative without a weapon. Captain Threx, slowly recovering from the paralysis toxin, managed to raise his head. No, everyone looked toward him. The captain coughed. The human was armed. The ambassador looked confused. With what? Threx stared at Marcus. Himself, 3 hours later, the captured assassin sat inside the palace's deepest interrogation chamber. Its wounds had been treated. Its armor removed. Its 4 hands were restrained independently. Queen Valara watched from behind the observation glass. Marcus stood beside her with a medical patch wrapped around his arm. You knew it wouldn't kill me immediately, she said. Marcus nodded. The blade? Yes, it was positioned wrong. Valara turned toward him. You noticed that? First thing. The queen stared through the glass. So your laughter was partly psychological. Partly? Marcus smiled. I also thought it was funny. Valara shook her head. Humans are deeply concerning. We've been told. She turned toward him. There is something I still do not understand. What? You allowed the assassin to believe you were unarmed. I was unarmed. No, Marcus, Violara repeated Captain Threx's words. You were armed with yourself. Marcus groaned. Please don't let Threx turn that into a slogan. Too late. Within 48 hours, the security footage leaked. Within a week, billions across the coalition had watched it. Within a month, military academies were analyzing every second. But one moment became more famous than the fight itself. The laugh. Across hundreds of worlds, people replayed the instant when an assassin held a blade against the throat of one of the galaxy's most powerful rulers, and the lone human in the room laughed. The Silent Covenant quietly added a new rule to its operational doctrine. It consisted of only one sentence. If the protected target has a human bodyguard, abort the mission. Years later, Queen Violara would personally ask Marcus whether that story was true. Marcus shrugged. I heard something like that. You frightened the galaxy. Nah, he looked out across the capital skyline. I think they finally understood us. Understood what? Marcus smiled. Humans didn't survive Earth because we were the biggest animals there. He looked back at the Queen. We survived because when something dangerous came after us, his smile widened. We learned how to become more dangerous.